It's that time of day, it's 1 o'clock right on the button. So I'm going to call the meeting back to order from yesterday. And is there any additions to the agenda that we need to look at?
This conference will now be recorded.
No? Go ahead.
All right, so Reeve, would you, Public Works Administration has brought a list of things that we had asked them for us to look at today. Can we bring some things in addition to this for consideration? And do they need to be added to the agenda right now, is what I'm considering? Or are we just having a general discussion on this request from the minister? Because we went around on this discussion yesterday whether or not we needed to add Councillor Gunderson's additions, and I don't recall the conclusion.
Well, it was yesterday, so. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so just for discussion, should I add more stuff if I want to add more stuff?
Sure.
Okay, just for discussion purposes. And I would add then discussion on Range Road 71 South. I guess so.
So it'd be G.
G, Range Road 71 South, very far south end. And I'm also going to add Township Road 474. And that will be west of Highway 22. For H.
We should have some more discussion as well on the project by the golf course here about strategies on how to actually develop that. I would hate to think that we'd rip out that big culvert. Instead of doing that, we add another culvert to help reduce the flow of water there.
Right. So if I could ask administration what the motions were yesterday, because I think we only made just action motions, not the adopting the agenda and stuff like that. But I think we only made 2. Sure, you got more than 1 second. I'll take all the time you need. Yes.
From yesterday, there was a motion for Councillor Westerland to identify as a priority to Alberta Transportation Bridge File 13214 culvert replacement on Township Road 494 east of Highway 22. And that was the only motion that was passed other than to table the meeting.
Okay, could I have that motion number, please?
That motion number is 417/25-08-05.
05. Thank you. Okay, so how do you want to start adopting the agenda? Is that where we're at? Yes, sir? No. Pretty sure it's 474. 22. Yeah. Yeah, 22, west of 22. Down to the O'Malley pit here. No problem. Down to the river.
Any other additions?
I think we should also add, if I may just ask a question, I think we should also add, or at least for discussion, Pete Calvert's request, and that was, is that 80, is that
83?
83. I think we should give that some discussion.
So that's J.
That's I?
No, I was the golf course road,
Okay, I is the golf course road.
which is 494 east of Highway 22.
494?
I think it's 494, isn't it?
Yep. And then J, I forgot, was that 91? RR 91?
91 is the Horse Club.
Pete Calvert's request?
That's 83.
83, okay.
83 south of 620. That's J. The golf course road, 494. The culvert that we approved yesterday, the funding for it. And J, you're calling that which one?
RR 83, Range Road 83. Yeah, that's right.
Any other additions? Pardon me? Oh, yeah. Glenn, any other additions?
I don't have any.
Kara, are you online? Okay, well then we need a motion to approve the agenda with the additions.
All right, I'll move to adopt the agenda with its additions.
Discussion, all those in favor? How do you vote, Glenn? How do you vote, Glenn? Glenn, are you there?
Kara's here, and I vote in favor.
Okay, thanks, Kara. All right, so, any opposed? We must have lost Glenn somewhere. All right, so we'll start out with the first one, the STIP funding priorities introduction. Lyndale Hall Bridge, pages 3 to 13. Did we have
Okay.
somebody specific put this on, or is this just part of the list?
So just got a little introduction first.
Sure.
And then we can get into some of the reports. So 6 information packages in response to Council's request yesterday. These packages are provided to Council's consideration and direction regarding which projects should be designated as priority 2 in response to the MLA's request for 2 priority STIP projects for Brazeau County. Priority 1 was determined and approved yesterday as Bridge File 13214. The request letter was directed to Region Council. Administration's not providing recommendations. The purpose of the presentation solely to provide information on the projects, allowing Council to make an informed decision on the designation of Priority 2. The application deadline for STIP funding is November 30th, 2025. Through the 2026 interim budget discussions, administration will proceed with, as promotions that come out of that, to apply for STIP funding. Some of these projects are reports that were initially slated for budget discussions, and we're still gathering all relevant information and cost estimates for that timeline still. In saying that, we'll go to the first one, Bridge File 0985, which is the Lyndale Bridge. So in this report here, we have a bit of background, just location, grant number. So this one is an approved STIP grant right now, an approved project. The grant amount carryover from 2024 is $450,000. So this was put out to tender recently. Deadline for that was May 29th. The bid came in very high. The lowest one was over $1 million. So it's way over what our approved budget was of the $450,000. Prices were significantly higher than the published ATEC bid prices for this region. So in checking in with our bridge engineers, etc., it does often happen when we put this out late in the year. Like, these are ideal to put out January, February, when they're planning their year. Once you're putting out later in the season, you'd often have these higher prices coming back. So we did not award that one because we weren't able to with the budget, and we are going to reapply in the new year here. Reapply for the STIP application, just ask for extension on it, and then put it out to get tender again January 2026, in hopes that the prices we get back would be more reasonable. So I did attach just the location map to that. Figure 1, you have a little elevation view of what that bridge looks like, just below that. Figure 2. The next picture is just something from the report, which is a picture of some cracking. And then I did attach the inspection, the last inspection that was done on that one as well. So that's a brief overview of where we're at today with that now.
So was there any work done on it then? Like the way I understood, and I may have been wrong, was that he was going to, or we were going to do some, I don't know what I would call minor patching rather than the required work? So was anything done at all?
No, there was not.
Okay. So it's still something that we need to have under consideration.
Yeah, definitely. So everything that's outstanding on the inspection report there is still outstanding, and weren't able to proceed. The option from that time was to do the full rehabilitation, and we weren't able to do that within the funded amount. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure how you guys want to do this, but I thought maybe if we briefly go over them all.
Yeah, the
something might-
quick
something
debrief
might,
on all of them.
Yeah.
Sure. So the next one is Bridge File 71804. So this is the one on Range Road 40 east of Highway 20. I included a little bit of background, the year it was built, the age, the replacement cost, and replacement year when it's slated for. We do have a bit of a schedule when these items are, end of life, which this one would be 2030. We don't have any traffic counts on this one, only Range Road 40 north of 474, so I did include that today. And then I've also put requesting for traffic counts, so in about 2 weeks' time, I could provide traffic counts if requested. So I did attach those two pictures there, figure 1 and 2, just showing what this bridge looks like. The traffic counts attached, as well as the last inspection that was done on this one.
Let's go to the next one then.
Similar area, Bridge File 71598. This is one on 42 west of Highway 20. Again, just put the year it was built, estimated replacement cost, that was just over $2 million. Proposed replacement year is 2028. Again, we have no recent traffic counts on that. I just went back 5 years. So it's one that maintenance will be putting traffic counters on, so in 2 weeks' time, we'd have that information if requested. Just a bit of background information on that bridge, and then again, figure 1 just shows what it looks like, the bridge elevation. Figure 2 is a picture of the deck and the condition that's currently in, and then the most recent inspections attached to this one as well.
All right.
Okay, and next.
Oh, go ahead, Deanna.
Sorry.
On these inspections,
Yep.
what is the most pertinent information, like instead of looking everywhere? What's,
So on that last one, for example, page 5 of 6, it does have a bit of a summary as to, so all the items that are noted during inspection are kind of summarized, so the maintenance recommendations on it.
okay?
That one, and then oftentimes if there's any special notes, just a little bit further down from that, it has on the next page, 6 of 6, special comments and notes that the inspector would have put there. So I think those last 2 pages summarizes it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Check, sound check. Tina, could you scroll back to the photographs on this particular bridge, please? And the one I'm looking at would be a side view, side elevation, and to me it looks like that is a wooden bridge. That is a wooden structure. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
We have a wooden bridge in Brazeau County. Okay, that's all I wanted to point out. Thank you.
Range Road 91, so that's Township Road, Range Road 90 from Township Road 485 north, 4.6 kilometers, so known as the Horse Club Trails. So we do have We don't have the specific traffic counts I was looking for. We do have traffic counts on 91 north of Township 483. We don't have counts from 485 north, unfortunately, within the last 5 years. I have attached traffic counts on 485 west to 85 and 485 east to 91, just to show traffic in the area. This one was up for discussion for Cape Seal, I believe. So what we have here is just a price for the Cape Seal and cement stabilization. Estimated cost for that 4.6 kilometer stretch would be 1.8. I've attached the location map and those traffic counts I just mentioned to that one. So that was a bit of a short report, but a brief overview.
Go ahead, Dan.
Thank you, Reeve. Just a quick question for the counselors that are following us online. Are you able to see the agenda package, or are you just calling it on your cell phone?
I'm on my cell phone, but I have it up on my phone. I'm coming through the app, so yes, I can see.
Okay, terrific, thank you. Glenn, how can you see the agenda package, sir? No further questions?
I can see it. I can see it, yes. Yeah. It's coming.
I also read it too when it came through.
Okay, the next one, the Water for Life. Last night I'm reading a little bit more into the Water for Life program. I know we talked a bit about solar, et cetera, but there was some limitations to what's covered under this. So the Water for Life program, we can apply for funding for new regional water supply and treatment facilities and wastewater treatment facilities. So it does need to be regional. And that was important to note there. So I've attached a description of the program on the next page, attachment 1. Project of interest that could potentially fall into that is regional is the Poplar Ridge Pump Station, and then had those discussions in the past. So there is a parcel of land on the south side of Township Road 492 that's being discussed and utilizing as a Poplar Ridge Pump Station in the past to address the pressure and water volume concerns in that area. So that was the only example I was able to pull up quickly that may fall under that Water for Life program. Just to add, I know it just talked on the agenda about Water for Life, but there was also another attachment to the MLA's letter talking about the Alberta Municipal Water Wastewater Partnership. So under that umbrella, it provides cost-shared funding to eligible municipalities to help build municipal facilities for water supply and treatment and wastewater treatment and disposal. So I attached that program too, and just provided 3 examples of projects that would fall under that. So upgrading storage at Cynthia for fire suppression purposes, replacing the Buck Creek lift station, a potential water plant at Lodgepole or even Buck Creek. So those are just throwing out some ideas that would fall under the scope of that.
Go ahead, Dallas.
Yeah, so just something interesting. Wherever we were at, I think it was an Agricultural Service Board annual general meeting conference where somebody was working on wastewater, and it was for an agricultural facility. So what they were doing was, instead of diluting it and adding water to it with lagoon type stuff, they were extracting water from it. And it costs because they're using natural gas to dehydrate and stuff like this. But it's a very interesting and a very forward-thinking initiative, and I would love for Brazeau County to lead the way on something like this with one of our lagoon systems. And our smaller lagoons that are at our hamlets would be ideal for this. It wouldn't be a tremendous cost, and it's just something to really, I think, to think about. I wish I had more information on it. I was up kind of late last night too, but I couldn't find anything on this. But I know it's out there. Instead of diluting and dumping it into your creek or your river, you're extracting water from it.
Right.
So I just think it's so, I just thought it was so, caught my eye, and it was very interesting.
Like a reverse osmosis process.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll carry on till somebody decides to make a motion on what they think the second priority was.
This is my last report, and then it will just be the additions after this. So this one's Range Road 63 south of Highway 39. So just provided a bit of background there of past motions that were made on that one, the proposed options, which we had, which was paved asphalt surface and Cape Seal service. It was, a motion was made to do the paved asphalt and to reach out to Pembina Pipeline for cost sharing. So we did do that prior to the 2025 interim budget discussions. They weren't interested in cost share at that time. I did reach out to them this year already, and I got a response July 23rd. And the response from Pembina at that time was, in conversations for our budgeting for 2026, Pembina will not be able to provide funding for the option to pave the road. We will continue with the current road use agreement and scheduled payment for that agreement. When we did have conversations with them, and when we talked about the option one, the third point in there is the maintenance, the 60-40 split. And it was offered to them to not do a lump sum payment. This could be like similar as you're doing now with this $30,000 maintenance payment. It would be that similar payment annually over 20 years, at which point you would not need to continue any maintenance payments. So that has been brought forward to them, and they have still opted to not do that. Of course, with this time frame, I haven't been able to reach out with them and discuss, hey, if there was some extra funding and the price change, what would that look like? But open to having further discussions with them about that. The only thing I didn't address that might be something to think about would be whether the province whether we would need to do turning lanes off of the highway there. So that's not taken into account with this pricing, because that's not something I'm sure we have to do or not. But something to think
Is
about.
that kind of a dangerous turning? I guess coming from the east would be dangerous, cutting across the highway to go south.
Yeah, I think, they haven't asked us to yet, but I think once you go to paving it, and that discussion comes up again, and it is, with those trucks coming out there, I don't know if that will come up. So just something to keep in the back of the mind there on that one.
Was Pam?
Yeah, there's a video here, and then there's an attachment.
For those
that
that
as
don't
well.
know, this is the Pembina Pipeline Buck Creek Pump Station. It's at 833-486 west of the 5th Meridian. Pembina Pipeline was incorporated in 1954, and the gathering system that they built has taken most of the oil that this area has produced and shipped it to Edmonton via the pipeline. This gives you an idea just how big this plant is. It spans a lot of acres, with 4 big tanks in the background. It's controlled and operated by the Edmonton Control Room, and there's 1 man on site during the daytime hours. The truck offloading end of it, it stays open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The truck offload area has a place for 4 trucks to offload at one time. And it's set up in such a way that they can drive in, circle around, and then exit without having to back up. There's a large parking lot on the north end of this place, and what happens is sometimes those 4 lines are used. There's another 10 trucks waiting to offload, so they have a place to park that's out of the way. There was a time when, probably a decade ago, when trucks had to line up on the range road in an orderly fashion to wait to get into the plant, but that's been addressed now. Here you can see 1 vehicle coming in and 1 vehicle leaving. Generally, all these vehicles are going to be B-trains. They make a lot of dust when they come down a really dry road on a hot summer day. They also tend to do a lot of damage to the road when it's wet. Just that much traffic, that road can only take so much before, and once it starts breaking down, it's hard to get it fixed up again. I want to thank council for watching this presentation.
Did you guys discuss amortizing almost like the maintenance over life of pavement, which would be like 20 years, and say, okay, if they're going to pay 30 grand a year for ongoing maintenance, would they set aside that 30 grand a year over the life of the pavements? And so then you'd have, I won't do the math in my head, but you'd have 30,000 times 20, yeah, it'd be 6 million, I guess, set aside in reserves for paving. You follow?
So that payment was for maintenance, I'm assuming, is that used for ongoing maintenance for the road?
No, but I'm saying that you stockpile that maintenance over a 20-year period and you pave it, right? And then, because there won't be any maintenance really once we pave it. Colin, you got some,
I believe really just in, as Pippa presented here, some conversations to them were on them paying their yearly maintenance costs as kind of a rent-own type situation where they'd contribute, and then after that 20 years, they would have paid their component and then no longer have to do the maintenance because we would have got that payback on that initial investment by the county, so.
so if we paved it, they'd still base it on being a gravel road and paying a certain amount each year for maintenance.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
That's one opportunity that was presented to them that they were mulling over at the time.
And they're still in support of that? Okay. So that-
Reeve, may I?
Go ahead, Glenn.
Thank you. I think that this project 63 would fit really nice with this TIP program because it's industrial. There aren't really any residents that can advocate for this road to get improved. It's mostly industrial, right? And this facility has been around forever. And Pembina Pipeline has a number of risers in the county, so the linear they pay is substantial. And the jobs they supply are great jobs. So this would be a good one for us, WAC especially. So if we're going to do an economic corridor, this is one because these trucks come in from all over Alberta to offload the oil. And so, yeah, kind of would showcase our community. But thank you.
No motions coming out so far. Go ahead, Donna.
There is one guy that lives on that road. Who is that guy?
Herman.
Herman. Yeah. Oh, he'll be all right with pavement.
Okay, next item, let's just keep going through the agenda.
So that's all I had to present, but I think there was additions now. So the next one, I believe, was Range Road 71 South.
South, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't have
So
any information?
I don't have any comments for any of these, but I'll take any direction and any.
Okay, who put 71 South on? Dallas, okay.
Yeah, so Range Road 71, south of the hamlet of Buck Creek, goes down to Township Road 474. There's the Goliad Road here. It's all paved, and it reaches that point, the intersection of 616, and stops. But there's still a very high traffic volume continuing to go south, and it's time for that road to be upgraded into. It really should have a cape seal. Cement should have something to stabilize the road. It sees a lot of traffic, and it gets beat to death. It's a very short stretch of road, but still a very important part of infrastructure for Brazeau County. Yeah, that's all I have for consideration. I don't know what the road count is. I know Adam did some counting on it, but I couldn't find anything. I couldn't scramble it up last night, but it would be interesting to know what the count is on that road. I'd be interested to know what the graders, our operators think about that road, because they invest a lot of money in maintenance on that road. It gets beat up pretty bad. And it would be a very nice continuation of the Goliad Road south, right to the almost most southern boundary of Brazeau County. A lot of oil and gas comes out of there. A lot of aggregate comes out of there. 474 goes west, of course, down to the O'Malley Pit, goes down to the North Saskatchewan River, turns around, goes south into the county of Clearwater. So it does see a fair bit of traffic, and it's time for it to get upgraded. I'd like for that to be a consideration.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Feel free to jump in, Kara or Glenn, whenever you have something to contribute. Okay, let's take a look at the next item.
Okay, that would be Township Road 474. That's west of Highway 22. Connector here to 71, which I just mentioned. Now this has a very high traffic count on it. This road is a very important road for, as I mentioned before, oil and gas and aggregate and agriculture, a lot of industry that comes out of there, and it is shared with Clearwater County going southbound, as I mentioned, down along the river. this road needs to be repaired. This road needs to be upgraded. It's ready for a cape, and it's ready for something like a cape seal or something of that nature. We spend a lot of time on there. I don't know if we're cost sharing on that road or not, with anybody else, any oil and gas companies down there, but it's a pretty important road, and it's getting beat up pretty hard. We invest a lot of time, again, in maintenance and service and gravel on that road. So I think it is worthy of consideration for an upgrade.
Anthony?
In past years, we applied for resource road funding on that road to upgrade on it, and that was when Terry Fleming was still here, so it's a few years ago. And I don't believe we got it, but I think the upgrades or the traffic count on, or traffic flow on it, I mean, the type of traffic, big trucks, gravel trucks, is what Terry was using as a basis to consider the criteria for resource road. And it just didn't quite make the cut because of the volume of resource roads that they had and limited funding, but we applied for it.
So 474 is an east-west road, correct? Okay.
It goes up to the gravel pit.
Okay. So that's a consideration as well. We'll get them all done, and then we can always have administration do more research at less busy times. We can still focus on getting our priorities, because that's what the intent is here. Okay.
J is...
No, I just put it on because somebody mentioned
494.
No. 83 is the one you're thinking of, Anthony? Oh, 494. Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, it would be a shame to tear that big culvert out. I don't know why they couldn't just bore a 2-foot or whatever they need for extra capacity underneath, beside it, maybe 20 feet away, whatever they need for distance, and that will take up the slack, because the road is kind of depressed there a bit, and that way we're not ripping out a multi-plate culvert and then putting one in a little bit bigger. Just like we did at the end there at Lyndale, where we bored underneath the highway there. We bored through, I think it was about a 30-inch culvert, or 600 mils or 650 mils, whatever it is. So, and the reason I was saying that is that maybe there's a way, can we pool some of these projects? So in other words, if they were going to give us approval for $500,000, could you use 200 of it, let's say, for the smaller culvert to add it beside the existing big one, and then use the other money on one of these other projects that these guys want to do? Is there a chance of sharing funding?
Speak to that.
Go ahead, Colin.
In my experience, you do have to request they approve the project individually. I know we had one, whether I believe it was a sewage lagoon, maybe 3-4 years ago, and we had requested to use some of those funds in another project, but we had to go through a formalized process of providing a request to the province outlining what we were looking to do, and then they actually take those funds and reassign it to a separate project number. So we do have to do reporting each year on each of them individually, so they do approve them individually. And if you do have leftover funds and think you have a good case to utilizing those in another project, you do have to apply to the province and receive their approval to do so, and then they'll actually reallocate it through that new project that's created.
Okay, so there is a possibility to allocate surplus funds to another project. That's good.
Yeah,
Go
through
ahead,
request.
Anthony, then Dallas.
Let Dallas go. I had something I need to kind of think through better.
Memory.
Chug it.
Okay, so yeah, I put in front of you this piece of paper right here. That was from Public Works. Mr. Saltez generated that for us. Brazeau County update report to council, culvert replacement cost comparison. So I'd asked Mr. Saltez, I'd asked administration to give us a cost comparison to coring versus digging versus interruption, you know, so on and so forth. Anyway, page 271. At Lindale on 494, Range Road 52, that was in 2022. We had hired a contractor and we put in a 600 millimeter culvert, which is a steel pipe, and it was 55 meters long at a cost of $117.
17,000?
$117,000. Sorry. I think that would be in my humble opinion, that would be a good solution for 494 to rectify that problem. And like the Reeve would say, get rid of the interruption. You don't have to dig the culvert out. You don't have to break the asphalt. We don't have to come back and do a patch on the asphalt. All we do is core underneath, and we can put in this case, it's a 6,600 millimeter culvert, but I think we could probably go a little bit larger depending on what the contractor is able to core. Could get right up to that, probably pretty close to that 1 meter range, which would handle a significant volume of water, and I'm sure address the concerns that we have here. I think that it would probably be not as high on the list of priorities. I think other projects would, I think it's an important project, but I think that other projects, like we have mentioned, would probably be higher prioritized and get us a bigger bang for our buck. We want to, if the minister's asking us for some ideas, I think we should try to give him some big ideas, and we can continue to apply for this in 2026 or whatever, and just kind of maybe work with it with Public Works and through this contractor again.
Anthony?
Maybe Pippa doesn't have the answer off the top, but do you know what the age of that culvert that's there now? Is it what I would call aging out?
Find that out. Don't know off the top of my head.
But I think we should know the status of that culvert before we would make these types of decisions. You know, like, if it's almost at its lifespan already, then it's not a real option to leave.
Pardon me? Yeah, go ahead, Don.
Thank you, Reeve. It's a good question, and it's a very good question. If you'll look at this page right here, it will include, oh, it's not on that one. Let me just find it. Okay, I just have it on the agenda package. I didn't include it on this one. It was on the second page. But what the contractor did on this particular task, the existing culvert, they grouted it in, so they never even took it out. So if they could core in a large pipe equal to the size of pipe that we have in there without interrupting the surface, and just grout that culvert in so it's packed full of great density, it's not going to collapse on anything, then you don't have to dig it. You can still do your work by coring. And if you can't get 1.75 meter pipe in there, if that's not enough, I'm not sure what the volume is on that one, you can get 2. So your coring, in my opinion, is a great option to address that situation. Just something to consider. I don't know the size of the pipe either.
Go ahead, Glenn.
May I?
And then Kara.
Yeah, well, I guess, well, on Highway 620, right, so going towards Elk River Road, they did just that. They cored it out, and they tried to get a pipe in, and it didn't go. The ground started to come out from under, the highway just started sinking, and they ended up having to dig the whole thing up anyway. So that was supposed to be a small project, and then they were there for over a year, 24 hours a day, manning that site. So it can get tricky doing that. It might just be easier to close the road down, dig it out, put one in. I get it if you want to keep the road open, but it went really badly on the Lodgepole Highway there, really badly. And then what was left afterwards was a mess because it didn't pack in well after all that work had been done, and it's quite rough there. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe a motion's already been made on this, so I'm a little bit confused as to why it keeps coming back. And if we're having another meeting tomorrow, I guess we just put some more roads on and keep revisiting and rehashing. I understand that maybe we're trying to find some cost savings, but the work has been done on this project and it was approved yesterday. And it's actually been approved a number of times to be included in this file. So I'll just leave it there.
I think it's important that we have this discussion and we consider these other options. It was only approved yesterday for this particular request that the minister has made, but I would move to rescind it and for us to consider other more high prioritized projects.
Well, this is where I was trying to fit in the discussion about sharing revenue from other projects so that you could do a bigger project. But we should do things that are cost effective for sure. And we have to give 2 projects to him, so they might just take the cheapest one of the 2. But we'll have further discussion here.
May I?
Yeah, go ahead, Kara.
Thank you. Just from a process perspective, this is getting quite ugly. Did you accept that motion, Reeve, just for clarity?
No, Dallas said he hasn't made a motion. He said he would move.
Thank you. Just to clarify, my question was, Reeve, if you accepted it or not. Thank you.
Okay, so we're back to getting 2 projects, and I hope we're not going to be here much longer. And we can try and get 2 projects approved, and if there's a way to shuffle money around, maybe we can do that as well.
May I, Reeve?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Just for clarity, we're looking for 1. 1 has already been approved. You said we were looking for 2 projects, so just maybe some clarity of what you mean by that.
Yeah, so I think it's really important to reconsider our situation and consider all the factors. Every road we build or upgrade should be designed with the primary purpose of protecting lives. I move to rescind motion 417250805.
Discussion.
Just discussion, Reeve. May I?
Yeah, go ahead, Kara.
Thank you. Just, from optics, we made a motion yesterday and now we're backing off on it. The reports and the information has been done on this road for a number of years. This isn't anything new. It's been a project that's been applied for the past. The work is ready and it's ready to be approved. Publicly, I don't think this looks good because you know what? Why don't we call another meeting tomorrow and start backtracking on motions we made today? That's my comments. Thank you.
Anthony?
Yeah, we already agreed on this one yesterday, and the whole point of today's meeting was when I made the tabling was to find the second project. And if there's any savings to be found, which I agreed, Bart, is option to consider, it still can be done. Those savings can still be attempted to be acquired out of possible. If the tenders come in better out of that culvert that we already approved. So there's still an opportunity, Bart, to do that. But that project's already been approved, and our whole meeting today, after my tabling, why I tabled it, was to pick one other one, not to change.
Any other thoughts? Those in favor? Oh, one more, go ahead there.
Thanks, Reeve. Thank you, Reeve. Yeah, this seems to be, if the minister is asking us, this is kind of a unique ask for us. It doesn't come along often. And I think yesterday it was a bit premature to maybe take this direction. I think today we have more options on the table and more discussion. And it's healthy that we might have to go back and forth a couple times. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as we land in the right place, as long as we make the right decision. It's not about us making the easy decision, it's about us making the right decision. And for example, the Lindale Hall Bridge is a far more significant structure and a greater expense. That is something that we should consider, like Mr. Bachenko, our minister, is going to hopefully open the door for us to get some STIP money. I think we should just try to up the ask as much as we can. It's in the greatest interest of the municipality.
All good points being made. Any other discussion? Glenn, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. No, I'd be against rescinding yesterday's motion. Most of council approved it. I think it was just one that didn't. So, yeah, that culvert, I think that's a good option. Because, like, I agree with you, Reeve, that he's probably going to pick, out of the two projects we submit, he's probably going to pick one of them. So why not give him a broad choice between the two, rather than two huge projects?
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor? Kara, how do you vote?
Opposed.
Glenn, how do you vote?
Opposed.
Okay, so the motion is lost. Oh, those opposed here? Okay, so it was 4-2. So that, the motion still stands, it's on the floor, that's from what we picked yesterday. Is there a second project you guys want to do? Oh,
Reeve, may I?
Donna, do you want to talk to this? Okay, go ahead, Glenn. Sorry, it's...
Reeve, may I? Yes. I guess on our agenda, J was, we called it the Pete Calvert Road, I believe. Range Road 83. I just wanted to, yeah, like I said, this road, it needs to be paved. I would like to see us get a little more lifespan out of what we've done here. I do agree with Pete that the road isn't 100%, but at the same time, I'd like to see us get more life out of this road. It might give us another 5 years, so I wouldn't be against revisiting Range Road 83 in the future. But right now, I think it's better than the road I travel on to get to my house by far, and it's a pretty decent road. That was my opinions on it.
From my looking at that report, and I remember reading it before, that's why I wanted to see the pictures illustrated here today. I agree with what Glenn has just indicated in his comments. The road isn't, I would say, top of the line, but it's still very adequate, better than most roads in the county. And Pete needs to accept that the top of the line roads don't always happen past his place. Everyone else gets roads as we can afford them, and some roads aren't even as good as his. So from my point of view, I think this road can maybe be touched up if there's any patching that needs to be done, but at this point in time, I don't see any support to to redo this road.
Donna?
There are no pictures of the potholes. Like, this road is a mess. Like, I don't think it should be on this list for the STIP funding, but it is a mess. At the very beginning, there's no road. It's just all potholes and dirt. And then the further you go, there's great big potholes. Like, it doesn't show on the picture, but yeah, I was so surprised because last year it was fine. And now this year it's just a mess. Needs fixed.
So is this going to be one of the roads we're picking or not? Go ahead, Anthony.
From what Donna just said, I think she's probably more in line with suggesting we could probably consider it with the budget discussions this fall, or whoever's here at council, but I don't think it quite fits the guidelines with what we're trying to do here. I think we got some work done by staff on some of the projects that were, in my opinion, more suited to this, and we should be talking about those ones.
Okay, let's talk about the next one then, if we're not picking this one. Any other suggestions from councillors? Go ahead, Dallas.
Pippa, could we have a quick look? Is there any other supplementary information that we have on the pump station on Range Road 63? It's on pages 44 to 53. It may fit better into what the minister is asking of us. So is there anything else that you can share for us on that particular request? Or
Go ahead, Peppa. Or you're waiting for the light to go red?
So good. Yeah, maybe more specific. So again, we've provided options of, estimated cost of paved versus Cape Seal, and then we've kind of gone down paved route. We've had ongoing conversations with Pamela, trying to get some cost-sharing options. We haven't been successful with that yet. I did attach a road use agreement as to, what the current road use agreement is. What other information would be useful for this one? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, and we'd, thrown out different options for cost sharing, whether it be a lump sum, whether it be, over time, and then that, with no further maintenance after that time. So there's been a number of discussions, via Teams meeting and via email. Yeah. But like I said, if we were to get some type of other funding for that and the price changed, open to having ongoing conversations. We have a good relationship. We're going to have ongoing conversations with them if something changes.
Anthony?
I would like to see us give serious consideration to Range Road 63 and for the cost of 1.4.28 for the pavement, because that's a heavy haul road, and I think that's the opportunity now with this resource road funding, as well as I think if we go back to Pembina, and I mean from what comments we've already got through administration in the past, I think it's a great opportunity for us to also be able to say to them, here's a way that they can get rid of their payments every year, or if they can come with a lump sum, or they can continue over the span of 20 years paying their 30,000 and help pay their cost, or our costs that way. And likewise, when we're applying then to the minister, it shows that we're at least attempting and have a reasonably good chance of getting additional participation, partner participation. So I think it might even make it a more inviting project from the province to, if they consider that it's a three-way partnership or potential for a three-way partnership.
Anybody got another project? If not, well, then let's have a motion to go ahead with this project. Add it as the second one, and then we're done for the day. And thanks for all the work you did, Pippa. I'd be sleepy just looking at how much work you did.
Martin, go ahead.
Go ahead, Anthony.
I move that for our second project for the SNP funding, that we apply for Range Road 63 south of Highway 39 to pave it at a cost estimate, at least as shown on page 44 of our agenda, for $1.428 million. And that we also pursue partnership in terms of cost sharing with Pembina.
Discussion? All those in favor? How do you vote, Glenn?
In favor.
How do you vote, Kara?
In favor.
Okay, that was carried unanimous. Good job, you guys. Herman. He'll be jumping out of his socks. All right. Okay, well, good job, you guys. I don't think we need to spend any more time today. The work that we've done, we can certainly keep it for budget, and possibly all of these projects will come up at that point as well, too. So,
You're welcome, thank you.
all right, so we just need a motion to adjourn. Discussion? All those in favor? How do
Oh,
you,
sorry. I move to adjourn.
how do you vote, Kara?
In favor.
Glenn, how do you vote?
In favor.
Okay, good job, you guys. Take the rest of the day off.
Thanks to the staff. That was a lot of work to be done. Thank you very much.
Okay.